On today's episode of Film Optics, we're going to be talking about Star Wars: The High Republic. We're also going to take a look into Alison Brie might be courted to play She-Hulk for Disney Plus, and we're also going to take a look at Matt Reeves' leaked Batman images. So let's jump in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optics, where we bring you the strengths and shortcomings of the movie industry. I'm your host, Christian, and today we will be talking, whatever. We will be talking about the world of film, TV, and everything pop culture related. And as always, I'm joined by my good friend and our co-host, Devin. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing swell. You have any plans for Leap Day?
No, what Leap Day Sunday? Well, actually, I might go
Saturday.
see Saturday. No, I am visiting family on Saturday in Kentucky. I haven't seen them in a while, so figured I'd, head up there and hang out with the fam for a bit. I will be back on Sunday seeing Portrait of a Lady on Fire, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice.
But
I've always wondered what happens if your birthday's on Leap Day. Like, do you just skip those birthdays, just not age?
I met someone who was born on a leap year, and technically, they're actually like what, like 7, 12 years old or something like that. I mean, if they want to be technical about it, but it's really weird. And I didn't realize this year was a leap year, but hey, Christmas is on a Saturday this year. So that's really awesome. So I'm very excited about that.
Thankfully.
But yeah, seriously, dude. Oh my god, I don't think I could have made it an entire another year. It was on a Wednesday last year, and then it would have been on Thursday this year. And it's like, what or is it on Friday? Is it on Friday? No,
I have
Christmas
no idea.
Eve is on Friday, and Christmas Day is on I can't remember.
Christmas is
Anyway.
on Friday.
Christmas is on Friday. Okay. So that's even better because we get Christmas Day off. So but and before we begin today's weekly stories, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts. Well, I say that way too fast. Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Anchor, YouTube, Podbean, and we're on Tuner now, boy. So let's go. Yeah. Next, I'm still waiting on to hear back from iHeartRadio. So, next stop, Sirius XM, maybe
Pandora?
Pandora. All the God, who uses Pandora?
LimeWire?
LimeWire, Frostbite. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 movies. We'll be everywhere. But yeah, man, we have a few stories here to dive into. It's been a pretty busy week, I would say. I mean, last week I would have considered it more of a slow week, but it just things just want to keep coming at us. So we got the first weekly story of today, and I think this is the most important one of all.
It's
I don't
crucial.
know about it's very, very crucial. So, Jif, the peanut butter company, Jif, is rolling out with a limited edition peanut butter jar to settle the debate over the pronunciation of GIF once and for all.
Yes.
GIF.
GIF.
GIF, people. Graphics. GIF.
Where my hard G boys at?
Right. I'm actually, I swear, every single time that this happens, it's like it's not that hard. It's GIF. It's not.
It's
GIF.
graphical interchange format. Graph. Hard G.
Graph.
It's. I don't care what the creator says. He's wrong somehow.
Yeah. How does that happen? When the creator is wrong about their own invention? That's just mind blowing.
It's just ignorance. That's all it is.
Yeah, or they just wanted to get like underneath everybody's skin. But I will definitely be picking up a jar of the GIF. I'll be picking up a few, to be honest. I hope it comes out in crunchy. That would be awesome. I'm more of a crunchy guy. What about you?
I'm a smooth guy. Smooth GIF.
See, a smooth GIF versus a crunchy GIF. But yeah, I mean, I used to be a really big creamy fan, but For some reason, I like the extra crunchy now. Now I'm eating this cookie butter from Trader Joe's, which is actually really really good, and I actually like it. I implore you to check it out. It's actually life changing. Very good.
I don't
Very
know if
good.
I've ever been in a Trader Joe's before.
Well, TJ's has a lot of stuff for people to buy, and I don't know. I like
I've
it.
been an Aldi guy recently.
I have too. Honestly, yeah, dude, their
It's
stuff
so
is so
cheap.
cheap, so cheap. I'll get like all of like my essentials, like my eggs, my milk, especially my milk. I get it from there, and sometimes I'll go up and pick up the frozen um, fruits for like my smoothies, things like that. So I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, man, Aldi's. I mean, technically, Aldi's and Trader Joe's. I mean, Aldi's is a sister company of Trader Joe's. So hey, supporting the cause no matter what.
Yeah.
The cause of affordable spending. But yeah, I don't know when this is supposed to the whole GIF peanut butter is supposed to be coming out. When I clicked on the link for Business Insider, it oh, it told me to turn off my ad blocker. So whatever. But I'm not gonna do that because I'll forget to turn it back on. So everyone, it'll be rolling out sometime soon. Hopefully, I'll be buying like an entire jar. Maybe Costco will have like a big, bulk package where I can just, you know, have a bunch of them, but we'll see. But anyway, let's get back into the real news, Devin. That was just a nice little side story I thought we could start off with. So the first story of the week that we have, Devin, it's time
Oh boy.
for some Star Wars, The High Republic. This dropped what 3 days ago on the 24th. And I'll just read a little bit of the story here. Lucasfilm is to launch Star Wars The High Republic publishing campaign in 2020. Later this year, Lucasfilm will join an epic new era of Star Wars storytelling that will be explored through multiple voices, excuse me, in adult and young adult novels, children's books, and comics from a variety of publishers, including Disney, Lucasfilm Press, Del Rey, IDW Publishing, and Marvel. And this was actually the High Republic was known as Project Luminos. So this is these stories are supposed to be set about 200 years before the events of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, which I think is really good. But I wanted to get your thoughts on this, Devin.
Every all the artwork and everything just looks so cool. Like
Yeah.
it just all pops so well. Like the colors, it just all looks so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I really agree. It's not just the, oh, red, blue lightsaber, green lightsaber. We got some purple, some
We
pink,
got some
some
more purple to add. My boy Mace got some company.
yeah. I know. He's not the only Bamf anymore that has the the purple lightsaber, but he is the
There's
only
even a
person.
pink one in here I'm seeing.
I know, right? Like this is supposed to be the Jedi, the height of their their order. We haven't really heard anything about too much about the Sith, but that's kind of to be expected. Kathleen Kennedy quoted saying, "We are so excited to be opening up such a rich and fertile era, excuse me, for our authors to explore, and we'll get to see the Jedi in their prime." So I guess Kathleen Kennedy's kind of sort of doing something right. I mean, she's not bad, and I know that we've talked about her on the show. Kind of, I guess, in a way undermining her. It's just I feel like there are better suitors out there, and her history with Star Wars has been kind of a rocking one, but that's okay. So the first uh, books that are set to debut for the Star Wars: The High Republic era is supposed to debut at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim in August 2020 with Star Wars: The High Republic: Light of a Jedi, a massive interconnected story that is told across various formats and by various publishers. So yeah, I thought that this was supposed to be like a movie franchise, but I kind of like what they're doing here instead of you know, focusing just on films, you know what I mean?
So is it movies, TV, and comics combined?
I believe so. From what I'm reading here, that's what it looks like. I think they're starting off with the comics and trickling their way into the I'm assuming they're going to be doing like the TV shows and movies later on
Even
because
games
that's
too.
yeah, yeah, and that actually brings a really good point because this reminds me of when BioWare did Knights of Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, way back in the glory days of gaming that we all know of the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, for all you guys who are our age. Um, so Star Wars, no, actually, even prior, it was original Xbox. Yeah, it was original Xbox. OG, the fat, super atrocious controllers that we all know and love.
The Duke.
So the Duke. But they BioWare was given a choice either to make Star Wars stories fitting in with the continuity of the Skywalker saga, or they can make their own stories that was set. I think that was like thousands of years before the Phantom Menace. So I believe Disney's kind of going the same route with that. Gives them more of a free reign. They don't have to necessarily tie into all of these iconic characters. That can kind of just create their own characters, make their own stories the way they want to make them without having to worry about Luke, Han, or Leia, or Chewie, or anyone else. We might see a young Yoda, possibly,
I
because
have
I
heard rumblings.
yeah, we've definitely heard some
I've
rumblings
heard
there.
the popularity of Baby Yoda may have influenced their time frame choice, which would make
Yeah,
sense.
right. Same thing with Star Wars, the Clone Wars season 7. Well, since you didn't watch season since you didn't watch the other episodes, you just wait, okay. Did you even watch the catch up the thing that LCB put out? Lights Camera
About
Barstool?
that,
Oh god. Oh no. What is it? Don't tell
nope.
me you didn't watch it. You didn't watch it? What?
I don't
Oh,
know.
oh
I forgot.
man. It's all right. It's fine. As long as okay, did you at least watch episode 1?
Um, well, you see,
It's only 25 minutes, man.
I'd rather binge it anyways.
That's true. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, because we will be doing a review of season 7. So I mean, as long as you watch it, yeah, it's whatever. I'm just more of a week to week guy. I kind of understand the reasoning behind with Star Wars, or at least for the Clone Wars, because the episodes are so short that it kind of just you know can get into that. But yeah, I believe so for the Star Wars High Republic. When and they put out a video explaining all of this, and it makes it seem like it's more than just the comics, which I will actually be kind of interested to check out, because it's been a while since I've actually read a comic. But a lot of these comics that are coming out, especially Star Wars High Republic Light of a Jedi, is available for pre-order as of right now. So that'll be pretty cool to see. But hopefully, it flourishes in something else, because they definitely said movies as well. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But speaking of other Star Wars news, we're kind of have to trickle down here a little bit. Every Star Wars film is now available for pre-order on 4K Blu-ray, and you know what that means, Devin? Let me get my 4K
That means you're
copies.
broke.
Ah, yes, exactly. It means that I'm broke. There is a what was it? The Skywalker Saga 4K Blu-ray set. I believe it comes with the 4K disc, the standard Blu-ray disc, and the digital with copies as well. As well as a few other little goodies, but that's around $250. And honestly, I think that's a way better deal than the Infinity Saga that Marvel pumps out. That's like $500, and you don't even get the digital copies. And I know a lot of people don't really care for digital copies, but I feel like they're important for giveaways and whatnot. And speaking of giveaways, we are
Oh,
doing one right now. I believe it ends tomorrow for My Hero Academia. Two Heroes. I bought the movie and I was like, you know what? I don't want the digital copy for this. So, um, yeah, I mean, by the time we listen to this, the giveaway will probably be over. But yeah, going back to the Star Wars thing, I might buy that. I don't know because I already have. I mean, I have episodes 1 through 8. I kind of just already need 9. I just wanted them all in 4K, but I mean, I probably will just buy 9 and be done with it because that's a lot of money,
Yeah.
and we got bills to pay. But for anyone out there who's interested, and this also includes what was it? Solo or Star Wars Story and Rogue One as well will be coming to 4K Blu-ray. Eventually, I might have to rebuy them, but I'll probably buy my favorite ones first. Shout out to Revenge of the Sith, but just wanted to throw that out there. But also, Devin, we're not done with the Star Wars news just yet because we have EA is reportedly has two Star Wars games in development, and I think one of them actually fell through. But during the time that I added this to our list, but you played Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, right?
Yeah, I played a solid amount.
Did you beat it or no?
No, I got too annoyed.
Why did you get so annoyed, Devin?
No fast travel.
No fast
What
travel.
what are you doing?
Wow.
What are you doing,
I
EA? I get to an end of a level, and then I have to go all the way back through the level to get back to the ship. What's that? What's that all about?
that would like low key annoy me very, very much. I mean, you got to give players options. You know, we've both been gaming for God knows how long, and we're our roots from even our podcast slash our channel started with video games and flourished into what we have now. But it's just that's just like the dumbest thing ever. Like, why would you not put fast travel in this game? There's so many other games out there that do this, especially when it comes to these big open world adventures. I personally haven't bought it yet. Maybe I'll buy it one day when it comes, at a very affordable price.
It's really
Maybe like
cool too. It's got a lot of fun stuff to do, but I just got annoyed, so I didn't finish it.
ponchos for days, I hear.
A lot
So
of ponchos.
a
And
lot
you
of
can get
ponchos.
a yellow slash gold lightsaber right away.
Oh, can you really? You see, I was because
Uh,
did you play Star Wars Force Unleashed 1 and 2?
It's been a while.
Yeah, they had like a black lightsaber you can get. Is that in this game?
It might be.
Maybe. But sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, buddy. Go ahead.
I didn't think I had anything else.
I thought you were about going to speak there for a second, but anyway, so yeah, so a sequel to Star Wars Jedi: The Fallen Order at Respawn. They've been doing a phenomenal job with any game that they've actually been developing. So it's it's actually really great. It's great to
It's the
see
only
this
thing
company.
EA's got going for it.
Yeah, I mean, used to be Respawn and mainly just Bioware, but we also have with Mass Effect Andromeda, so we don't have to talk about that. So the sequel to Star Wars Jedi: The Fallen Order, and another Star Wars game that's described as smaller, uh, more unusual project in development at EA Motive in Montreal, and this comes from Kotaku because it was showing that there's sources saying that EA canceled the Star Wars Battlefront spinoff last year, which I think was a very smart move. I don't think they really needed to reboot that franchise. I remember we were all so excited for it though, especially just the original Battlefront, and that just ended up being a disaster. And it was, I mean, did you play the new Star Wars or the
So
old
little
Battlefront?
content.
So little, yeah. I didn't even bother because I remember me, you, Ethan, and Jared and Seth. Randy. We're all hyped up about it, and
It's still one of the best looking games we've ever seen. It's such
oh,
a
it looks
waste.
fun. Yeah, it looks phenomenal. But oh well. I mean, hopefully, I mean, there's been whispers that a new Knights of the Old Republic game is going to be pumped up by EA, but everyone's kind of just waiting for Disney to like take the game rights for Star Wars away from EA because they've done so badly with it, and it took them forever between oh my gosh the most recent, or I guess the first recent Star Wars Battlefront that they made. Between that, and they used to pump out like Star Wars games like it was nobody's business, and now they have three. But Respawn had to kind of step in. I don't know, but I'm kind of excited for this. I'm interested to see what it is. I'll definitely check out Fallen Order one of these days when it's at a affordable price, or maybe it'll come on the Epic game sale, or we just get it one day. But I
That would be
doubt it
nice.
because it would be nice. Maybe through EA's, I forgot their origin thing. That was really weird. But anyway, man, let's just move on to our next news story here. And we have a little bit more Disney news to go through. We're kind of have to lump these all together and make our way down. But Bob Chapek is to succeed Bob Iger as the Disney CEO. Bob Iger is stepping down. Iger will remain the exec chairman until 2021 as the transition with Bob Chapek to the new CEO will take his place. So goodbye, Bob, and hello, Bob.
Everyone was like freaking out about this, thinking there was way more to it. But he wanted to retire last year, but he only stayed because of the Fox acquisition. So it's not
Yeah,
like he got fired or anything. This is all
right.
planned.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like with Reggie Fils-Aimé over at Nintendo. He was the president of Nintendo America for many, many years, and he kind of just wanted to say his goodbyes. He wanted to spend more time with his family, which I mean, can you blame him? And I'm pretty sure Bob wants to do the same thing. He wants to retire. I mean, retiring as the Disney CEO, that's not a bad deal. Like, cool.
He's
Congratulations.
got a lot left to do in retirement. He's got a lot of money to spend.
Yeah. I mean through 2021, I mean, it's 2020 now, so what, 1 year? He can make it, right? What can
Yeah,
go wrong? He makes all these changes to the company, and now it will make my departure. But yeah, goodbye, Bob, and welcome, Bob.
yes, Bob to Bob.
Bob the Bob, Bob's Burgers, great show, great show. But yeah, not much really else to say about that. So I guess we'll just move on to our next piece of news. Lizzie McGuire, the whole new Disney Plus revival, has been grounded to a halt, Devin. And apparently it's due to Disney wanting a more kid-friendly version of the new Lizzie McGuire, not Disney McGuire. Wow, excuse me. So, and this comes from Variety. So, production on the show halted in January after the firing original series creator and revival showrunner Terry Minsky. After just 2 episodes were completed, her unceremonious exit has led many industry insiders to speculate that the revival will not move forward. Uh, Series star Hilary Duff remains mostly mum about the subject. That's quiet for all those of you who don't know what that means. But she has made her feelings known in not so subtle ways. So this kind of I guess ties into the whole like Love Simon thing, which we said we weren't going to talk about. So let's just not talk about it. But what are your thoughts about the whole Lizzie McGuire debacle, putting that show on halt?
I was a huge Lizzie McGuire fan when I was a child. I think she might have
Hmm.
been my first crush. Definitely her. I liked her and Miranda, her friend, like big time crushes.
Yeah. Were they your sexual awakening there?
I don't know about that. I was a little young for that.
Hey
Maybe
man,
Gordo was,
never right. Oh, Gordo, my gosh, that was definitely a sexual awakening. Absolutely. But
but
yeah, it's
it's. I guess it's kind of sad. Like I wasn't really like looking forward to this. I was just kind of like, oh, that's cool. But I think I kind of blame Disney on this because the reboots that have been coming out that have been remaining for children, like Fuller House and that awful Girl Meets World show, have both failed miserably. So it's
Wait,
like,
is Fuller House is that Disney or is that through
no, I
Netflix?
just mean in general, like these
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, like the
reboots that have been
reboots.
coming out, like
Oh, the Friends reboot's coming on.
have not been doing well.
Yeah. I would have to agree with you there, man. It is very and I like from what I've read, Hillary Duff wanted to make this more of a mature show. It makes sense because the fan base who watch the show are our age now. And it's kind of like she wants to make a new she wants to make something that relates to her fans who watched her show as a kid. So it's I mean, like, I highly doubt that like my sister or like anyone or your sister below, like they're younger than them, would even know who Lizzie McGuire is. And I get it, they're trying to bring it back, but I do believe it should be more of adult driven because she is in her 30s, and this is something that I believe that needs to be seen. But yeah, the whole reboots, I just think companies need to stay away from reboots and just do their own thing. I get it, you're trying to bring back all this great stuff, and it works great in the gaming space. We've seen this time and time. I mean, Nintendo has practically like built itself upon nostalgia, but for whatever reason, it doesn't really work well when it comes to the TV and movie space
Yeah,
sometimes. It
also
just
the Connors, like, what is that? What are
the
we
con
doing
what's
here?
the Connors? What?
The Roseanne show?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, 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 that's right. They tried to reboot that, and then Roseanne had to, say what she
Be a
said
terrible person.
and literally get her entire cast fired because she couldn't just keep her mouth shut. And just I don't know, man. That's just insane. Yeah, there's a lot of reboots out there, and I've never really figured out what the difference was when it comes because to games when it comes to remakes or reboot. Well, I can't even really even say
Well,
reboots
for
for.
games, they look better a lot of the time.
Yeah, they do, and there's a lot more time spent on them for sure. And I think they pump a lot more money into video games nowadays than they do for movies and TV shows. So, and the devs definitely get the shorter end of the stick when it comes to compensation. You know, but yeah, I would have to agree with you there. This kind of sucks. Um, it's everyone's saying, "Oh, Disney's losing their footing," and I'm like, "Well, Disney Plus hasn't even been out for a year." And honestly, like when I heard that this was happening, I was excited, but honestly, I'm more excited for like the Marvel TV shows and just anything else that they throw. I still use Disney Plus. Watching old shows when I can. If I have nothing new to watch on TV, I'll go back. Like, I've watched a lot of Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. I'd definitely like to get back into Boy Meets World and even Stevens at some time, but the content's there. And I feel like a lot of people are complaining about Disney Plus saying, oh, all they have is nostalgia, all these old shows. It's like, well, okay. So imagine this, Devin. If Disney Plus launched this year and it only had like their new originals, like World According to Jeff Goldblum, Marvel Hero Projects, Mandalorian, High School Musical, the musical, the series. They really need. I hate that title, but it's just so freaking long. But imagine if they only had like their brand new Disney Original Plus. People would still like shows. People would still be complaining, saying that they don't have enough content, and they would have been complaining that they should have just put their old backlog on there, which they did, and then some. But sorry for that rant. Did you want to add anything else to that?
Um, Rip Gordo.
Rip Gordo, R.I.P. But you know who's not R.I.P. Devin? Alison Brie, and
Oh yeah.
there's been a little bit of talk for courted to play for Marvel She-Hulk. Marvel says they've been looking for a Alison Brie type actress
It's always
for
weird
the
when
role.
they use that kind of wording. Like, it just sounds like she turned them down is what that makes it sound like.
Exactly. It's like we're looking for like a Robert Downey Jr. type, but not
They also
Robert
said
Downey Jr.
they said they want a Zac Efron type for Moon Knight. That just
Right.
means he turned down Moon Knight.
Pretty much. It's like so yeah, but like what do they like I don't think anyone else can, emanate Zac Efron better than Zac Efron. It's
Or
I mean
Alison Brie as Alison
or
Brie.
else yeah. And Brie herself could possibly be in the running for the role,
I
but
think she would be like a really good choice, which is why they want her, but who knows if they can get her.
I just keep thinking it is very strange how they worded that, isn't it? It's just we're looking for an we're looking for an Alison Brie type
Then
actress.
what are you looking for? You found her.
It's like right.
She's right there.
Oh man. Well, yeah, this comes from Night Edge Media, very edgy name. Wow. So let's read a little bit here. So today, our friend Daniel Richmond, who we both follow on Twitter, revealed on his Patreon that Marvel Studios is searching for a quote unquote Alison Brie type.
So
I
strange.
can't get over that. To be cast in their upcoming She-Hulk Disney Plus series, with Alison Brie potentially being at the top of the studio's list for the role. Uh, Brie, while a fantastic actress on Community and Mad Men, doesn't really scream Jennifer Walters, who was She-Hulk's alter ego, I guess you could say. The hard-hitting lawyer with the strength of the Hulk. Many fans were hoping Brooklyn Nine stars Stephanie Beatriz would be considered by the studio. So there's also her. So it's I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. She-Hulk does begin filming later this year and it's supposed to be hitting on Disney Plus, launch coming to Disney Plus on in next year. So I don't know. We'll see. And there's also a picture of Brie Larson and Allison Brie working out together on this lovely little photo. Wow,
That'd be a cool team up. Future
it would.
Avengers.
I didn't realize Brie Larson was that big. Well, I guess compared to Allison Brie, it's a little different, but yeah. Well, she got like really big for Captain Marvel though. Like she was like, do you see like those training exercises that she was doing, like
Yeah.
pushing huge freaking tires and stuff uphill? So that'd be pretty cool. But moving on to our last piece of Disney slash Marvel news, and we'll get into the rest of our stories here. Tom Holland's Spider Man 3 gets a quote unquote official working title. So this is interesting. What is it called again? Oh my gosh.
Serenity Now.
Serenity Now. That was a you were pointed at it earlier. It was a Seinfeld
Yeah,
reference, right?
all three of them have had Seinfeld references for the working title.
Hmm. That's interesting.
Summer of
Very, very
George, Fall of George, and now Serenity Now.
Serenity Now. Did you see that that Twitter that post that I sent you? Someone was like Serenity
Sinister
Now,
Six.
Sinister Six. I was like, okay, let's not get too out of ourselves here, but maybe I don't know. We'll just have to see. I mean, everyone knows who Spider Man is now, so it's very. He's put himself a bit of in a pickle, and definitely Mysterio has to be still alive.
Oh yeah. We saw
But
nobody.
we didn't. All I'm saying is I've never seen them together in the same room. But yeah, I'll read a little bit of the story here. After the intriguing first trailer for Morbius, I wouldn't really say it was intriguing, but uh, um, Morbius seems to connect to the Sony Marvel films with Tom Holland's Spider-Man series. Fans have been desperate to learn more about the future of the web slinger in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The wait shouldn't be too long. So I think Holland said that Spider-Man 3 is gearing up to begin production this summer. And we find out the film's working title. So, a lot of these movies and video game consoles have code names. So that'd be pretty cool. I don't know. So hopefully it'll end up being something pretty sick and pretty neat. But
Should be.
yeah. Anything else you wanted to touch on that, or just move on, keep trucking along?
Let's move on, Jerry.
All right, Bill. I don't know why I said that, but our next piece of news, a little bit more superhero news here for you, but it's on the other side of the superhero cabin. It's DC. So excuse me, DC Comics co-publisher Dan Dio exits the company, and this comes from comicbook.com. I'll just read a little bit of the story here. It's the end of an era at DC Comics as a longtime co-publisher. Dan Dio is no longer with the superhero publishing company. Uh, Didio was best known for overseeing multiple initiatives that pushed massive awareness of brand with storylines, titles, including Infinite Crisis, 52, the New 52 relaunch, and the DC Rebirth, as well as other stories like Before Watchmen and Doomsday Clock, which I know there's a lot of Watchmen fans out there, but haven't really, you know, uh, I haven't really read any of the Watchmen books, but I did watch Zack Snyder's adaptation and the new show, so I thought it was pretty good. Didio had served as a co-publisher along superstar artist James Lee for the last decade, being anointed as one of the figureheads of DC Comics by then President Diane Nelson. So, very very sad that he is leaving. Sounds like he, left a pretty big mark on DC Comics. I don't know too much about him. I've heard his name thrown around a few times, but I just wanted to kind of throw that in there to acknowledge, the work that he's done for DC. Because as much as people do love Marvel, DC is just as good, in my opinion. I have a lot of DC animated and DC live action films on my shelf. So if anyone ever calls me a Marvel show, which they haven't yet, I'll show them. Like, I would say honestly, between half and half of my Blu-rays, or my superhero Blu-rays, half of them are Marvel and the other half is DC. But anything you wanted to touch on this, Devin?
I have nothing.
All right. All right, then let's just move on over to the next story. So we got Batman, Devin, leaks the images. A video revealed Batcycle in the full Batsuit, and this comes from Variety. And I gotta say, the suit looks dope. Like, I like it a lot. I'm really digging it. It's the stunt man. It's not Robert Pattinson or Robert Bats and Bats, as they say over on the Weekly Planet podcast. But what were your thoughts about the suits?
It looks really cool. And imagine like when they're actually like finished and it's like post production, how cool it's gonna look. Like it's not even finished yet. Like it's gonna be so the motorcycle too. Like it's just so badass. I don't know
Yeah,
what
it
I don't know
really does.
what those pens on his arm are. I'm not sure what's going on there.
This definitely looks like a early year Batman. He's got the nice armor on. I know a lot of people have been, um, oh my gosh, comparing it to the Dark Knight, well, not the Dark Knight, but Arkham Knight. Wow, excuse me, Arkham Knight Batsuit. But no cape as of right now. So I would definitely think that this is definitely earlier Batman. They had the little clip of him riding down the road and kind of falls over at the last second. But no real pictures of Robert Pattinson in there just yet. I think people need to calm down just a little bit. We haven't seen Robert Pattinson in the full bat suit. And, Devin actually pointed out to me earlier this week, a lot of people were up in arms about what was it, Shazam look because these are early set photos, so it's it's they're working on it. I think it's gonna be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I also really like the Batman, the bat symbol being like made out of the gun from Joe Cool that killed his parents, seemingly.
Seemingly, yeah.
That
I
looks
think
so
that's a
cool.
nice little reminder. Absolutely. But yeah, so we've officially confirmed that the bat ears are short.
Nice little stubs.
Yeah, they're not too long. They're about mid height. I'm like, okay. And I guess people like the super long ears, which is very odd to me. I'm just not a big fan. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how long they need to be. The bat ears, but I heard someone call them horns one time. I was like, what? No, they're not horns. They're his ears. He listens. Sonar.
Classic bat
Bats don't.
horns.
Bats don't have horns. Silly goose. But yeah. So let's move on to our next story here. We have Chris Evans joins the new little shop of horrors film. And this comes from
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is either, but I think Scarlett Johansson is also
It's
joining
got
them.
quite the cast. Isn't it a
In Taryn,
musical?
yeah, and Taryn Edgerton. So there we go. We got our singing man. So yeah. I'll read a little bit from this story though, just to kind of fill a lot of people in who are listening, because I honestly have no clue about this. Having hung up his MCU shield and then dominating in the world of mysterious knit, knitwear and knives out. That was a very nice sweater, by the way. Like, oh, I wish I had a
His
sweater like
his
that.
his wardrobe the whole movie was
It
on
was
fire.
on right. It was everyone. I think everyone's wardrobe the entire movie. I was like, this just feels like a Thanksgiving movie. You know what I mean? It's just everyone's like so festive. It's very
Did you
fall.
watch that video I sent of Ryan Johnson breaking down that scene?
I haven't yet, and I
It's
need to
so cool.
because I wanted to. I rewatched Knives Out last night, and I wanted to watch it first, and then watch some behind the scenes stuff. But I'll definitely watch that tonight
The
for
amount of
sure.
detail they put into all of it, it's just amazing.
Yeah,
And
there's so
and
many
he brought
things.
out that very cool secret where bad guys can't use iPhones.
Well, now we know for any movie that we watch from now on. Like, does he have an iPhone? All right, then he's
Every
probably
so
the good guy.
every Sony movie, everyone's just a bad guy. Everyone's a bad guy no matter what.
Well, yeah, because they put in their own their what is it called? The Xperia, Sony
The
Xperia,
worst
something like.
phone
Oh,
there is.
oh. You remember you remember those Microsoft phones, right?
I wish I didn't.
The Zune.
Oh no.
Oh, R.I.P. Zune. It took such a hard fall. Microsoft's like, we can compete with Apple when it comes to the world of music. And then, and I remember I had a few friends in high school who had Zunes, and they seriously thought that they were better than people who had iPhones or, not iPhones, or iPods or iPod touches. But I mean it it's kind of like the whole Betamax and VHS debacle, or the Blu-ray versus HD Blu-ray when I was Sony and Microsoft. But man, Zune went through some hard times. They tried to put it on Xbox like no one would notice. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track, but let's get back to this Chris Evans thing. So, after telling the Hollywood Reporter last year that he wanted to play a dentist in the new Little Shop of Horrors films, he is in talks to do exactly that. If he makes a deal, he'd be part of a cast of a new movie, which will follow the familiar story of Seymour Krelborn, a nervy florist who discovers an alien Venus flytrap that has a taste for human flesh. Ooh. It helps him boast his confidence and woo his love interest, Audrey. But then sorry, but the ever-growing leafy lunatics demand soon outspace Seymour's ability to feed it. So that sounds pretty interesting. I've never heard of a I don't know. Any thoughts?
I have no idea.
All right, I felt like I lost you there for a second. I'm like, I have no clue what this is going on
No
with, but
idea what's going on here.
I but do we care?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not until we hear a little bit more buzz. So I guess we'll just keep that in our back pocket until something happens. So let's just keep on going on. So our next story, well, it's not much of a story, just a little bit of a statement. So the new James Bond movie, No Time to Die, will have a runtime of 2 hours and 43 minutes, which it's I think that's pretty long for a Bond film, but I've seen a little people complaining on Twitter about this, saying, people were complaining or were fine with the the Irishman length, the 3.5 hours of that film, which I think during the Oscars, definitely Martin Scorsese had it coming to him because that's exactly how a lot of people felt while trying to watch your movie, son. Oh, but look at him dozing off and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, that was about a good chunk of your fan base while watching The Irishman. But any thoughts on this, Devin?
It'll be a good introduction to my first James Bond movie. Solid
Yeah,
2:43.
you never watched a James Bond movie?
Nope.
That's okay. Neither have I.
So
So,
surprised.
hey, I know, right? Oh, wait until the people at Cinemania World hear about this.
We're
Well,
going in.
okay,
What is this? The freaking 12th movie that we're going into blind?
I think so. And there's like 25 Bond films,
Oh yeah,
like
25.
all together. But with Daniel Craig, I believe this is his fifth or sixth. Fifth? I think it's his fifth one. Because he's been playing Bond for a while now. But
The
yeah,
trailers do look really cool. So
it
I am
does.
excited.
Yeah, because like I've said before, I'm not much of a um I'm not much of like a spy thriller type of person, but this looks really, really good. And I'm, Billie Eilish's song for it sounds amazing. The cast is a stacked cast, absolutely. So we get to see a little bit more of Rami Malek, and
Ana de
hopefully he delivers.
Armas.
Yes, that Anna. Oh, dude, I was watching Knives Out, and I was just like, "Is there a more beautiful woman in this world?" I was just like,
It's tough
"Wow,"
to
and
beat.
and yeah, and she's a great actor. Like she kills it. Like I'm surprised that Knives Out or no one, a lot of people didn't get a lot of recognition for Knives Out. I mean, especially Daniel Craig. Heavens, man, he was great. But
Murder.
I suspect foul play. I was like, man, it was like, yeah, it was goofy, but it just worked so well. So yeah, No Time to Die, 2 hours and 43 minutes. So we're gonna be there for 3 hours or more. So yeah, here we go. So that will be our first ever real Bond experience. So but let's move on to our next story here. We have American Horror Story. Macaulay Culkin joins Sarah Paulson and Evan Peters for season 10. And this comes from the Hollywood Reporter. So that's really, really cool.
Macaulay's back, baby.
He's back, baby, and better than ever. Look at that smile. Man, the years have not been kind to this man.
He's bounced back. He's
He
back on
has.
track.
And there's a lot of other stars out there that have bounced back as well. And honestly, I can't even shame him for that because it takes a lot to turn your life around from what he's definitely been through. But I will read a little bit of the story here just so people have a little bit of an insight. So the 10th season of American Horror Story is beginning to take shape. Uh, excuse me. Ryan Murphy revealed the cast for the forthcoming milestone season of his FX horror mainstay Wednesday. And the roster of names include many franchise favorites, namely the leading duo of Sarah Paulson and Evan Peters, of course. They've both been in, multiple projects that have done very, very well, besides Bird Box. Well, I thought Sarah Paulson did a pretty good job, but it was all about Sandra Bullock there. Who both so I guess Evan Peters and Sarah Paulson actually set out last season for the first time in the series. And here we come, the Culkin. The Macaulay Culkin comes in and saves the day. So that'll be pretty interesting. Um along
I just want him to say, "You filthy animals."
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. But yeah, this is cool stuff. I don't really have too much else to say about this. I haven't watched American Horror Story in a while, but maybe I'll check out season 10 that Macaulay Culkin's in there, see what he can do.
Culk gang.
Culk gang strong. Anything else you wanted to comment on that before we move on, Devin?
Move on to your favorite subject.
Oh, it's not. This is not my favorite subject. I hate this piece of news, but I felt like it was necessary to talk about only because I'm that good of a person, Devin. I'm just that good of a person. This comes from discussing film. Um, T.S. Nowlin is set to co-write Bright 2 for Netflix. I don't know why the first Bright was made in the first place. It was terrible. It's boof. It's garbage. It's ugh. I can't like and I've and Devin already knows that I just don't like this movie at all. And one of our friends, Matt, like loves this movie so much. I don't know why, but I give him shit about it every single time. Pardon my French. But so I'll just read a little bit of the story as well. We have learned that T.S. Nolan will co-write the screenplay for Netflix and David Ayer's Bright 2, alongside current screenwriter Evan. Not gonna try to pronounce that last name. Spoliopoulos. I think is that how you pronounce it, Devin?
I don't care.
I don't care. I don't want it. um, so yeah, it's in production. I really don't care too much about this. I mean, if you like Bright, good for you. I'm totally fine with that. It's just I don't care enough to even really talk about it all that much anymore. So I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So we're just going to move on to the next interesting piece of news that we have here, and that is HBO has reclassified Watchmen as a limited series, and apparently, this leaves the door open for a second season. I was personally under the impression that a limited series was a one and done run between one season. But then Devin had to school me a bit and show me that apparently limited seasons can have more than one season. So
I
up
think
to
mini series would be one season always, but
mm,
limited series could be different.
I guess you're right. I guess I always thought that the term miniseries and limited series were interchangeable, but yeah, I would have to agree with that. But did you watch Watchmen? I know you have HBO now, so
It's next up on the list.
you still watching Euphoria?
No, I finished that.
How many episodes is that?
Uh, 8ish.
What are you watching now?
Um,
Barry?
I have to start Hunters. I want to start that.
Oh, that's right. Is okay. So is that produced by Jordan Peele or is that
Yeah,
directed by Jordan?
produced.
Produce. Okay, because we've been talking. Everyone's been like between this and the Candyman trailer. It's I guess that'll be our next
Oh
thing.
yeah,
That yeah. So we'll talk about that. Let's talk about it now. I saw it. It was actually really interesting.
that
Um,
song. Jordan Peele chooses the best songs for his trailers
he does, but
always.
it's like he ruins them for. I can't enjoy them in the normal way that they're
I
supposed
got
to be
5 on
enjoyed.
it. Say my name.
I'm surprised he didn't do a candy shop.
Could have.
I'll take you to the candy shop.
It could
Or you
definitely
know
make
what?
that creepy.
Yeah, he could. I just Just don't make these popular songs creepy for me. That's the only thing. That's all I ask for, Jordan Peele. But I forgot the name of the director for Candyman. The trailer looks great though. I absolutely love it. It's you know, me, for anyone who's, you know, now listening to the podcast, I hate horror films with a passion. But I've been coming around to it a little bit lately.
And it's
Been
not
watching.
because you think they're bad, it's because you get scared.
Yeah, like okay, I didn't like it chapter 1 as much as, like, I mean, it was interesting, it was cool, but I just didn't care for it. It was honestly, like, too demonic for me. I liked Us, that was pretty cool. I already knew the twist at the end before watching the movie, but it still, like, kinda creeped me out a little bit. I didn't know Elizabeth Moss was in that either, so that was actually pretty interesting. But yeah, will I watch Us again? Probably not. Will I watch Midsummer again? Absolutely. I'm just waiting for the extended version to come out for us to all enjoy. But yeah, any other thoughts about Candyman
Yeah, it just looks cool. And Jordan Peele we trust.
and Jordan Peele
Except
we
Twilight
trust?
Zone. I don't think anyone wants that bad streaming
Oh,
service.
uh, is that that's on Amazon, right? Or no?
CBS All Access.
Ooh,
Way worse.
that's why. Way worse. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely way worse. Absolutely. But yeah, definitely check out Watchmen, man. It's very good. I don't really think anyone needs to know a lot of back knowledge for the film or the TV show itself. It's a sequel, it's a direct sequel to the comics. So unless you want to read the comics or just get a gist of it online, you can do that too.
Only thing I read is Parasite subtitles.
And speaking of Parasite, it's coming to Hulu in
April.
April 8th. April 8th.
Disney
So
shelled
no
out some
one.
cash.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was quite a bidding war.
Probably. Yeah.
It feels like Netflix should have tried to get it because it feels like it would fit on Netflix pretty well.
It does feel like it would fit on Netflix pretty well, but I think Netflix is too busy trying to get ready for the whole Nickelodeon merger. So that's gonna be really interesting as well. But yeah, I mean, Disney's just throwing money. Like, you know, we're gonna put this on Hulu. And you know what? I recently signed up for Hulu, trying it out for a little bit. It's not bad. Will I keep it? Maybe not. I don't know. It just depends. I want to see what HBO Max has to offer first, and then I'll make my final decision because we have Disney Plus, we have Netflix. Those two are definitely two big staples. I mean, we we both have Apple TV Plus. I
I will
I think
not
we're
be renewing.
I think I'm just waiting for season 2 of Dickinson to come out. That's the only thing I want to watch,
I
to be
haven't even
completely honest.
opened it in months.
I haven't opened it in months either. It's okay. And I have an Apple TV, and I still don't use my Apple TV Plus. But you know, Apple's getting into new and different realms, and you know, I feel like it can only become better from here if they acquire some new studios like A24. I think they would be pretty well off. But you know who else is well off, Devin? Who's going to be well off? Xbox players. You know why? Do you know why, Devin?
Consumers.
Consumers and owners of Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox
And
One
Halo
get
Infinite.
and Halo Infinite. Yes, we cannot forget our 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 Halo Infinite. Um, So the owners of Halo Infinite and Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One will get the Xbox Series X upgrade for free, and this is via Game Informer. And I love what Microsoft is doing for next gen. I think this is very, very smart. Instead of having people pay for, let's say, the Halo Infinite comes out on Xbox One. kids like, hey, you know what? I want to save up some money and I'm going to get myself the new Xbox Series X or the other Xbox that's supposed to be coming out, and I'm going to be able to play Halo and on the best settings and the best graphical settings possible, and it's going to feel like I'm flying through the air with Master Chief and Cortana. But it was like, hey, you know what? You got to buy that game again for another $60 and just to get those graphical upgrades. But I love what CD Projekt Red is doing here when it comes to this. I don't really think I think this is a step in the right direction. I don't think people should be paying twice for the same game just for a graphical upgrade, because imagine we're both PC players. Imagine if we had to do that on PC.
I don't want to.
I don't want to either. I mean, I guess you can kind of make the argument, oh, there's different graphics cards out there. Yes, but at the same time, uh, it's still a little bit different because I mean, that would be like, hey, if you want to play your games at like 1080p, you got or 720p versus 1080p. If you want to get the 1080p version, you have to buy the game all over again. That's more of the innards of the computer itself. But I really like what CD Projekt Red's doing here. And I'll read a little bit of the story as well from Game Informer. All too often players can find themselves picking up a game for current gen only, um only to have to repurchase the game on new hardware when it becomes available. Today, well, not today, on February 24th, 2020 at 2:32 p.m. CD Projekt Red announced that Cyberpunk 2077 players on Xbox will get the upgrade to the Series X when it arrives absolutely free. This should inspire some purchase confidence for those looking to play games at its best. You'll get it to play on the launch of the Xbox One and then um, get the more powerful version for free on the Series X when it arrives at no additional costs. And I think this is a great way for people to upgrade, and it gives them a really good reason to upgrade and get a new console. So, and it's we've we're both gamers. We've been doing this for a very long time. We kind of know the ins and outs of all this shenanigans. And Cyberpunk 77, they tweeted saying gamers should never be forced to purchase the same game twice or to pay for upgrades. And then they kind of stated that again with Cyberpunk 2077, the free upgrade for Series X. So yeah, this is it's great day for gamers all around. So, but I don't know about this next story though, Devin. Eli Roth directing a Borderlands movie. Do we need this?
It's so random.
It's this comes from Empire Online as well. I don't know why we need this though. This isn't really necessary. Um, cool. I mean, oh my god, the director of he was the director of the House with a Clock in Its Walls. I might have to just do a hard pass on all of this together. So I don't know. What do you think?
I think we talked about it a little last week. We were just talking about other games that deserve a movie more.
Yeah,
It's just I don't know. It just came out of nowhere. It just doesn't seem right.
yeah, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't flow well together. I don't know what they. I mean, Borderlands does have a story, so I guess they could make something after that. I mean, given Sonic the Hedgehog's recent box office success, uh, I think this is coming through Lionsgate Studios, but I don't know, man. It is what it is. Let's just move on. We're almost done here. We only got two more little stories. Creed 3 is in development with Zach Palin to set to write the screenplay. This comes from the Hollywood Reporter. Are you a big Creed fan, Devin?
Yeah, the first two were very solid.
I got you. I never saw the first one. I saw the second one. So
You gonna go second, 2, 3, 1?
2, 3, 1. That's exactly the way I love to watch my movies. I watch Two Towers, and then I watch Return of the King, and then I go back and watch the Fellowship of the Ring just to get the full story. But it's call me the sequel guy. I watch the sequels first, and then I go back and watch the other ones. But yeah, there's not much to really say here.
Just say yes. Just
Yeah,
go
Zach.
on. Just do it.
Yeah, Zach Balan will pen the last installment in MGM's boxing film franchise. Yeah, there's literally nothing else to this story. Like, it is a picture of Creed, and there's like 3 sentences, and we pretty much went over everything. Zach Balan was the scripter behind the upcoming Will Smith movie King Richard, and has been tapped to the pen for the third installment for the franchise of boxing and Creed, or Creed 11, as like some people like this. Or this is Creed 111. So this seems like there's going to be a lot of Creeds out there,
A lot of
but
sequels.
sequelitis. But this last little bit of news story, I just wanted to throw this in here because I really love the show. And for all my anime fans out there, My Hero Academia took over a recent NBA game thanks to the Megatron shout out. They were promoting the new movie for My Hero Academia, which is My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. I have not seen it yet myself. I'll probably just wait for it to come out on Blu-ray, buy it on the cheap. It was just a little bit of a promo. This rarely happens in America. This is kind of why I wanted to throw this in here, and because I love the show so freaking much. It's about superheroes, Devin. It's about a world where superheroes, well, they call their powers quirks, and out of nowhere, people just started, um were born with these powers, and they've adapted to the superhero way of life. And there's certain high schools that kids can tend to become pro heroes, and there's villains. It's actually really cool, and I think that was one of the draws for me. But I've always been anime's had a little bit of a soft spot in my heart for a little bit there. But it's been a while since I've watched a very good one, and this is definitely taking up a lot of my time. Rewatching the series now because season 4 came out, and it's been a while since I've watched it. But kind of just wanted to throw that in there. So, yeah, I believe that pretty much does it for today's show. Did you want to anything else you kind of wanted to dive into, Devin? Anything that you found interesting this week, or
It's time to be invisible, man.
it's yeah, it's time to be invisible. We do have our Invisible Man review coming up. And actually, we do have, and I forgot to mention this a while ago, we have a fan question, Devin. Our first fan question of the entire show. If I can find it on my phone. Okay, here it is. So this comes from Robert. I can't well, I put this on Instagram. I can't remember who this is. I actually don't really know who this is because I don't think they're following me and I'm not following them. But they asked us this question, but wanted to ask you this question. So this question again comes from Robert. Would you rather win the lottery or work at the perfect job, and why?
Um,
It's pretty deep.
could my
So,
job be winning the lottery?
I mean, it could. I mean,
It's my
if that's
job
what
now.
that's your job. Your job's you could win the lottery more than once, and there has been a lot of people out there who have actually won the lottery more than once in their lifetime. But yeah, ooh, man, there's so many pros and so many cons, but it's like, can you win the lottery and then find the perfect job? Or I guess he's just asking more of like an ultimatum type situation. I would say, I would probably say work the perfect job, just because, it's something that you always will be able to do would you be making a lot of money up from it? Maybe, maybe not. Winning the lottery would, I mean, they're both, these are both really good, you know, a- avenues, but I feel like working the perfect job would just make you a more happier person. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with perfect job because I mean money can't necessarily always buy happiness, but then again, sometimes I think otherwise because there's definitely a certain amount of money out there that would make me pretty happy right now. So you know what I mean?
Even okay, if I'm choosing lottery because you can have all that money, and even if your job's not perfect, who cares? You're rich.
Honestly, yeah, yeah. That's a great way to look at it, man. I mean,
You can make
more
anything a little bit better with that much money. Like, even if the
that
job's,
is.
like, just okay, it's
Dude,
like
you be going to every single Steelers game out there,
my
having
office chair would be
selfies.
made out of hundreds.
Real hundreds or fake hundreds or Monopoly
Real.
hundreds? Oh, real hundreds. Like
Gold bricks.
your chair is literally worth an actual value. Gold bricks. I got you. Buy yourself a nice house, nice car, pay off that student loan debt that Bernie
Yes.
keeps talking about. Hey, I'm praying. Well, we'll see. We'll definitely see there. But
Shout out to Robert for the question.
yeah, shout out to Robert for that question. I would like us to start doing a little bit more fan questions just to kind of see who's out there. Haven't had too much luck as of right now, but you know, it's got to keep trying and uh, till we reach the correct audience with that. Because some people are like, "Why the hell is he asking me this?" It could be about anything, honestly. Your family, the most random question in the world. Like, does a straw have two ends, or is it just one continuous hole? And so I've heard a lot of people's opinions on that, but yeah, thank you, Robert, for the fan question there. So that was our first little fan question of the pod. But I believe it's just time to wrap this up, man. It's Thursday night. We both have work tomorrow, and little bit tired, but not too tired. But wanted to thank you, Devin, as always, for coming on, and thank you everyone for listening at home. And again, if you forgot, you can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Anchor, YouTube, Podbean, and Tuner. Hopefully, fingers crossed, on iHeartRadio as well. And keep a lookout for our Invisible Man review that will be up this Sunday. Yeah, because normally, yeah, we're just gonna be doing our reviews on Sundays. Trying to get more into a habit of a schedule for the new show. Sometimes, it'll be out on Fridays, sometimes Saturdays. So that'll kind of fluctuate depending on our schedules. But yeah, I believe that does it. And also, really quick, you can follow us on Twitter and you can follow us on Instagram, all at Film Optics. Optics is spelled Optix. And I believe that does it, man. And you want to say goodbye to our listeners out there?
Goodbye. Farewell.
Peace.